Now, 2027 is coming through. A lot of people are speculating Raila might be on the ballot, he might not. But also there's this seat for AU that you promise you'll give him 10 million if he wins. So one, were you serious with the 10 million?
I have it. The only problem in Kenya, I don't think there's someone I can trust to hold it.
You can trust me. I'm going to give the money there for Baba.
You see, I told you we live under the third industrial revolution, where we have access to information. And as a country today, we are where we are because of what you call escapism. We like escaping from the reality. I was in ODM, a NEC member, and I used to ask fellow NEC members, what is the strategy that we have to ensure we beat Ruto in 2022 elections? And the majority of them were saying we have the government, we have the system. No one could give you facts or numbers. And that is why I left ODM. Because I told Raila, I cannot lie to you anymore. Uhuru Kenyatta is playing with you. They are not helping you politically. So same applies with this AUC. The AUC position for Raila Odinga is the same game that was played with the BBI agenda. It is meant to derail Raila for this entire 1 year until elections next year. And when he loses, they are very sure Raila will lose his base support from the people. And by that time, he will have broken his entire opposition team. And it is happening now. Just today, Munya said he's leaving. Martha Karua said he's leaving Azimio. Yeah. Kalonzo is speaking another language. So Raila should understand, as much as he is benefiting, it is also a trap for him. And I tell people every day, the moment your enemies start celebrating you, that is the end of the beginning of your end.
There's a problem.
There's a problem somewhere. So how can Raila win that seat? As per the elections, we are told you need minimum 2/3 of the total votes in Africa. So that's about 39 countries. Obina, tell me which 39 countries will vote for a candidate fronted by William Samoei Ruto. When Raila goes for that seat, he's not going as Raila Odinga, he's going as Kenya. How is Kenyan being viewed today in the entire Africa? You and I know. We've lost a lot of credit. Look at our neighbors. We are fighting with our neighbors. We have a problem with Somali. We have a problem with Sudan. We have a problem with Uganda. We have a problem with Tanzania. We have a problem with Congo. Last AUC seat elections, we had fronted a candidate. No one talks about it. Amina Mohammed. Do you know that Amina Mohammed was a candidate in 2017, I think, 2018?
I think it was like
yes,
that,
she was a candidate.
Yeah.
And she was defeated by Faki from West Africa. Can I shock you that even our neighbors around did not vote for us? In fact, Burundi did a statement and said, we cannot vote for Kenya because Kenya perceives to know everything. And we like interfering with the sovereignties of other countries. Uganda said, this our neighbor, said they cannot trust Kenya because we seem to be fighting for all positions, as in we are Mr. Know-All, we want everything for ourselves. So if you could not convince Djibouti, Eritrea, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda to vote for us, and at that time we had a good relationship. So what about now? Who is going to vote for us? Just last week you saw, he's called Kamamba, the foreign minister of Tanzania, has also declared to run for the seat. We have the lady from Somalia. We have the gentleman from Djibouti. So as much as the seat is coming to East Africa, look at the figures. It is close to impossible, my brother.
So Baba
and I think Baba knows.
Ah.
Yeah, he knows. He knows, and he will be in the ballot 2027. Fellow Kenyans, Steve Mbogo hapa. Now today I want to make a pledge, and I'm very serious about it. Today, in this holy month of Ramadan, I pledge that if Raila Amolo Odinga gets the AU Commission seat, I will give him 10 million shillings. I repeat, I pledge that if Raila Amolo Odinga clinches that seat, I will give him 10 million shillings. I know it's small money to him, but not to many Kenyans. I'm saying that because I am very sure, 100% sure, that Raila Odinga will not clinch that seat. You see, the biggest problem is that today, wajinga waliisha Kenya. And I'm saying this because of facts. Now, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, the people around you and the entire Kenya Kwanza brigade is lying to you. There's a wise man that said, when you see your enemies or your opponents rejoice or celebrate you, then you should understand that that is the beginning of the end of you. Now, when you go to facts, Baba, for you to clinch that seat, you need a minimum 2/3 of the total votes in Africa. Any person who's keen with African politics, you understand and you're fully aware that approximately 49 out of 54 African countries today are pro-Russia, pro-China. And all these countries are not going to support someone who comes from a country that is pro-West. For you to convince the Anglophones will be a bit easy. But when you talk of the southern part of Africa and the western part, the Francophones, who have fully retaliated from the West, believe me, they're not going to vote for you. Remember, they also have their own candidates. The South, they have their own candidates. East Africa, there are about 7 of them. So, Baba, these people are lying to you. And if the reality is they're either lying to you or you're part of this game. But it is very sad that the same card that was played with the BBI agenda is the same card that is being played now. Baba, these people will keep you busy for the next 1 year. You'll be busy campaigning. And when you lose next year, the same people will come and tell Kenyans, tulijaribu kusaidia mzee na ikashindikana. Let me tell you, by that time, the entire brigade of Azimio will be torn apart. As we all know today, the Azimio brigade has started fighting in itself. Just because of this issue. Your real soldiers, the people who've always fought for you, and I'm speaking as your son and you being my mentor and once my party leader. The entire BBI agenda is being repeated, but in a different script. They will waste your time. By the time they're done with you, you've lost ground, you've lost all your friends, you have to start afresh. By that time, you only have 1 or 2 years, we're back to elections. So, Baba, fungua macho. And for those people who surround Raila Odinga and you keep lying to him, shame on you. Otherwise, I have pledged, Baba akipata hiyo kiti, cash, tupewe account, ama tutaweka kwa M-Pesa yote 10 million. Habari ndio hiyo.
You look at this issue. History teaches us how to shape the way forward. You remember back then in 2017, 2018, we had Amina Mohamed.
Yeah.
She was a Kenyan. Amina Mohamed wanted to vie for the AUC chair.
Yeah.
Akashindwa na yule Faki.
Yeah.
Now, do you know the people that voted, the first people on the front row to vote against Amina Mohamed? It is the same East African countries. Djibouti, Tanzania, Uganda, Burundi,
Rwanda,
Eritrea. Do you know what one of the former ambassador of South Sudan to Ethiopia, he was called something Morgan, Peter Morgan or something, Morgan said, Kenya could not even convince its neighbors and its partners. A country like Burundi stated clearly, we could not support Kenya because Kenya is one country that likes interfering with affairs of other countries. Uganda said the reason was Kenya, we have an unsatisfied thirst for everything. Yani sisi ndo utaka kila kitu.
Sindi America.
Hao ndo maneiba tuna expect sahi atu to support.
Basi nadhani
But I said it last time. They have a reason and they have grounds to say that. We as a country misbehave. I mentioned before, I said, look at the friction we have with our neighbors today. You know, me since I was born, I've never seen this kind of friction where we are not in good terms with Tanzania, with Uganda, with Sudan, with Congo, with even Rwanda, it's lukewarm, with Somali. You get it? So how do you expect? I saw people celebrating the other day and saying, "Oh, now Raila is going to get it because they've agreed the leader will come from East Africa. Now he'll come from East Africa, but who? What is East Africa?
But don't you think, Steve?
What and who is East Africa?